Well, I'm not afraid to admit it.
I'm stupid, you're smart. I was wrong, you were right.
All right, as long as you're willing to admit that.
But I do get credit on some things.
I was right! All along, my whole life, I knew it!
Okay, there was a lot I got wrong in predictions, but I did get some stuff right. Luka Doncic surprised me. I did not see him playing like a superstar right away in the playoffs, but the bubble is doing crazy things to people, especially referees. I did see an easy win for the Lakers, who beat the Blazers in 5. I don't care that they won the 8th seed after beating the Grizzlies. This is LeBron, AD, and Alex Caruso. In this video, I'm taking credit for right predictions, but I'm also admitting I was wrong in the first round of the playoffs about a lot of things, especially a certain bet I made that I am really regretting. Hey, it's Casey, welcome to AM Hoops. Hit subscribe and notification bells. I'm coming out with 5 videos per week, always dropping at 5 Eastern. That is worth a subscribe. If you really like the channel, go check out our Patreon page. Today's Patreon shout out goes to Shane O'Keefe, who subs all the way from Australia, so thank you. I feel bad that his favorite team is the Bulls, but at least we are getting some really good playoff games. Bulls are not in the bubble. There's a lot I got right and wrong here. And let's start with the right, the bracket. My first round predictions went 7-1. I was right about every first round series except for one. The Nuggets and the Jazz, and that should have been right. I mean, the Jazz were up 3-1 and blew it. What are the chances of that? Well, I looked it up, and actually it's only happened 12 times ever. Literally going back to the 1960s, the Nuggets are just the 12th team ever to come back from being down 3-1. Congratulations! I said before the series I believed in Donovan Mitchell, and he did take another step in his journey to becoming a superstar. Dude has been in the playoffs every year. He was a first-time All-Star, and he exploded in this series, but I was wrong about Jamal Murray. I did not see him scoring 32 points per game in the first round, shooting 53% from downtown. Now, I did get the Blazers being an easy win for LA right. I called it a sweep, but they won in 5. I saw some people saying they'd take it to 7 games, maybe even upset the Lakers. No way. I almost went 8 for 8 in the first round. There were a lot of Nuggets fans calling me a hater. Look, I'm not a hater. I just saw Denver injuries and experience of Donovan Mitchell as a win for Utah, but I was wrong. I was also wrong about Bol Bol. Kind of. Look, I am not gonna call out any specific YouTubers, but some people acted like Bol Bol was ready to be a real contributor in the playoffs. He scored 16 points in his NBA debut, yes, but against like G League players on the Wizards. People needed to settle down about him, and to make my point, I made a bet with you guys that he wouldn't score 16 points in total in the playoffs, or I would shave my head. My whole point about this was that no, he won't be a difference maker. Settle down about this. Well, guess what? Last night in game 1 against the Clippers, he scored his 17th total point. So now I have to actually buy Clippers and shave my head. Here's what that moment looked like on Instagram Live. All right, Bol is bringing it up the court. Shoot it! No! Clipped by the Clippers. Okay, just to be clear, the point of the bet was that Bol Bol is not ready for playoff basketball yet, and I was right. He's only played because the Nuggets have been horrible in a lot of games. Denver's losing by like 30 points, so Mike Malone just throws him in there against other third-string players. Still, I will live up to my word, and I will announce when I'll shave my head on Instagram. Now, the last of the Nuggets predictions was about Michael Porter Jr. fading and getting benched, and I was right. Michael Porter Jr. was great during the seeding games. If you take out Denver's first seeding game before Malone trusted him, he averaged 35 minutes per game and scored 24 points per game. I said, though, he would come back to earth in the playoffs and be benched in the most important moment. Sure enough, once they had healthy players, Malone benched Michael Porter Jr. the final 10 minutes of Game 7. In the playoffs, he's averaged 26 minutes per game and 11 points per game. In the fourth quarter, 4 points in Game 5 against Utah, 2 points in Game 6, and 0 points in Game 7. The kid will be amazing one day. He'll make teams regret passing on him, but Michael Porter Jr. is not a star yet. I was wrong, though, about the 76ers. I predicted they would win at least 2 games against the Celtics, and they got swept. They were an embarrassment. The Sixers didn't have Ben Simmons, but Philly has never been swept by Boston in their long rivalry. And honestly, I cannot pretend that Ben Simmons would have made a huge difference. I was dead wrong about the Sixers' talent, about their coaching, about their competitive spirit. They already fired Brett Brown, but I don't think that's good enough. Everything should be in question from top to bottom in that organization, because this was one of the most disappointing seasons I have ever seen. I was also wrong about the Miami Heat's young players. I predicted Duncan Robinson, Tyler Herro, and Kendrick Nunn would not play well in the postseason. So far, they're killing it. Look, Kendrick Nunn was coming back into game shape after COVID-19. We'll give him a pass. But Duncan Robinson has almost identical production. Tyler Herro is putting up numbers and handling the ball, looking like a playoff vet. What I did not see was the bubble effect. There are no crowds creating a playoff atmosphere. The sight lines for shooters are great, like a regular gym. It's much easier for shooters to do their thing in a smaller space, and the Miami Heat young players love to shoot. I should have seen that. It will be really crazy if they finish the Bucks upset, but that's for the second round Right Wrong video. I was right about the Toronto Raptors having an easy time with Brooklyn. I know Karis LeVert was great in the seeding games, keeping the 7 seed for Brooklyn, and you know I don't believe in the Raptors, but I still predicted they would dominate the Nets. LeVert, Joe Harris, and Jared Allen are the Nets' only starting caliber players. Forget KD and Kyrie, they didn't even have Spencer Dinwiddie. Bottom line with the Raptors was, I said they would dominate the Nets, but that wouldn't actually mean anything, and so far I'm right. Finally, I was wrong about the Rockets. Not that they would lose, I said, yeah, they would beat OKC, but I literally said to believe in Russ and Harden. Yeah. Turns out Houston won almost in spite of those guys taking over. I mean, Harden was good in some games, but he was inconsistent overall. The NBA's scoring champ only passed his regular season average 2 times in 7 games. In Game 7, he scored 17 points, but luckily was huge on defense of all things when it mattered most. Harden and Russ will have to step up big time if the Rockets are going to upset LA, but I am sticking with my original prediction of Lakers in 6. Look, I want you guys to know on our first Right Wrong video that I don't hate any team or any player. I just have reasons why I think they're going to play well or not play well, and I am right a lot of times. But I'm also wrong, and I will always admit it, and unfortunately, this hair will be gone very soon. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.